was now hot property, and at their graduation the cameras weren't just focused on William.
Graduation day, that's really when the bubble burst for us. I remember very distinctly walking out of my graduation ceremony, and it was just a sort of bank of photographers, 150, 200 photographers all taking photos. And I think, you know, they did go up to some students and say, oh, well, I'll clear your student debt if you sell your stories or whatever.
And I say every year, and you may have met your future spouse. Now, when William and Kate graduated, I went out of my way to say, and I say this every year.
We're at the graduation ball. I remember seeing William pinch Kate's bottom when they were standing at the bar, that kind of thing, and they were, you know, I think at that stage, like dancing together and being much more coupley.
Obviously, my hope was that they would eventually do the right thing by one another. But it's very, very satisfying to see your students move on into adult life.
Away from the sanctity of St Andrews, they embarked on their separate working lives. For William, this meant training in the armed forces. Alongside his military duties, he also followed in his mother's footsteps by actively involving himself in his many charities.
A royal reporter for the day. This is Alice Marples, who's 10. She's a patient at the Royal Marsden Hospital, where she's being treated for cancer.
Tonight I'm going to be interviewing Prince Harry.
Brilliant, brilliant, Alice. That is a keeper. That is a keeper.
Like his mother, he threw himself into his work with his heart and soul.
And I just asked him to go and sleep on a pavement in the centre of London. So I was indeed surprised, even though I shouldn't have been, that he said yes. Straight away. Straight away. That's it. He didn't say, let me think about it. He didn't say, I'll come back to you. He didn't say any of that stuff. He didn't say, call me tomorrow. He said, yes, straight away, I'll do it. Evening came. We knew it was going to be very cold. It was. So we found some wheelie bins. We used the wheelie bins to shield ourselves a little bit. We put our cardboards down and we slept the night. We didn't have an army of security. They didn't want any publicity about it at all. People have asked me, surely there must be security round about in the corner. There wasn't anything like that at all. And maybe there wasn't even a need for any of that, because frankly, who's expecting to see Prince William sleeping rough?
Meanwhile, working as an accessories buyer for Jigsaw, Kate was adjusting to London life. But, as the girlfriend of a prince, that life was becoming more complicated.
When Kate left university, she was suddenly faced with a lot of press intrusion, and I think that's quite difficult for any individual.
She's got to expect some photos to be taken if she's out in public, if it's a birthday like today.
I think that was a big shift for her, because it didn't have that cocoon of being up in St Andrews and having the agreement with the press, because they had been pretty much left to themselves when they were studying for those 4 years.
If you're not experienced in dealing with the media, I think that can be quite a challenge.
Say good night, Kate. Okay.
And she seemed to deal with it very well.
Say good night, Kate.
You never saw a picture of her looking aggressive, looking cross. She always managed to smile. She was incredibly poised.
I would say she has a right to expect the rest of the day to herself, unless she chooses to go to a public place later on in the day.
The outside world was unaware that a big announcement was imminent.
Prince William and his long-term girlfriend Kate Middleton have split up. The couple, who met at university 6 years ago, had faced huge public and media interest in their relationship.
We've had the announcement, fine. They should be left alone now, without reams of stuff being written that I can assure you from my experience of all stories, most of which will be complete nonsense.
At the time I thought it was permanent. You know, I think the relationship was too strong, and at the time I thought, well, you know, he's never going to be able to form a relationship with a girl like he did with Kate in that totally perfect time as an undergraduate at university.
Wasn't very happy about it, but actually it made me a stronger person. You find out things about yourself that maybe you hadn't realised, or I think you can get quite consumed by a relationship when you're younger, and you know, I really valued that time for me as well, although I didn't think it at the time. Looking back on it,
As a chance to re-centre yourself.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
You know, we were both very young. It was at university, and we were sort of both defining ourselves as such and being, you know, different characters and stuff. It was very much trying to find our own way, and we were growing up, and so it was just sort of, you know, a bit of space and a bit of things like that, and it soon worked out for the better.
The split was only temporary. Within months, rumours were circulating that Kate and William were back together.
We picked ourselves up and carried on, and we, you know, from where you had, you know, the odd problem when you were first getting to know each other, those have all gone, and it's just really easy with being with each other, and it's really fun, and I'm obviously extremely funny, and she loves that, so it's really good.
You know, obviously William couldn't live without her, and now they're getting married.
And a royal marriage is big news, with more than 100 cameras capturing the images that will be seen by an estimated global audience of 2 billion people. So when the couple announced their engagement last November, it was done in front of the world's media.
It was about 3 weeks ago on holiday in Kenya. We had a little private time away together with some friends, and I just decided that it was the right time, really, and proposed.
It was a total shock when it came, and very excited.
Did you ask Kate's dad, and what did he say, and what did your respective parents say when you told them?
Well, I was torn between asking Kate's dad first, and then the realisation that he might actually say no dawned upon me, so I thought if I ask Kate first, then he can't really say no.
They kept it to themselves for several weeks before telling anybody.
He was determined to keep it a secret until they decided that the world should know. Nobody was going to get any exclusives, and William's like that. William likes to keep things very close to his chest.
And then they gave the courtiers, I think, 2 or 3 hours' notice.
We had a little talk before, and he even phoned the Queen that morning to tell her he was going to announce his engagement that day. They were just so comfortable with each other, you know. She looked $1 million, she had a fabulous dress, and her hair looked wonderful. Of course she was wearing this great ring, which she was showing everybody at every opportunity.
I'd been carrying it around with me in my rucksack for about 3 weeks before that, and I literally would not let it go. Everywhere I went, I was keeping hold of it, because I knew this thing, if it disappeared, I'd be in a lot of trouble. It's my mother's engagement ring. Obviously, she's not going to be around to share any of the fun and excitement of it all. This was my way of keeping her sort of close to it all.
That was a wonderful gesture, and you know, Kate Middleton never met Diana, and obviously William's told her everything about her. He's told her the things none of us know. And all the fun things people would do with their mum. But, you know, wearing that ring every day, as she looks at that, she'll think that one of the most famous women in the world wore that ring. And she should be proud to be wearing that ring, and I'm sure she is.
I just hope I look after it.
She loses,
but no,
she's in big trouble.
it's very, very special.
I'd just like to say that Carol and I are absolutely delighted by today's announcement and thrilled at the prospect of a wedding sometime next year.
Good evening. There is nothing quite like a royal wedding to perk up spirits in the British Isles.
Του πρίγκιπα William με την αγαπημένη του Kate Middleton.
The biggest royal marriage since William's parents' time.
They're young, they're in love, and they look fine.
The appetite in America is insatiable for this story.
And Matt's been giggling non-stop since the announcement.
A major break in tradition.
The king-in-waiting finally popped the question.
Fairy tale come true, isn't it? The commoner meets the prince.
Thousands of people have been flooding the blogosphere with real-time reaction to news of an upcoming royal wedding.
With the engagement public knowledge, William still had his day job to do, and for the future king, that meant representing his country on the world stage.
Thank you very much.
When we were on our failed mission to win the World Cup for Britain, we had lots of conversations. He's got a brilliant sense of humour, a very good sense of fun. He's not at all grand or anything like that.
Yeah, he did his utmost to try and bring it home. It wasn't just, yes, I'll help and do a little bit of this and a little bit of glad handing and that sort of thing. He actually threw himself into it, heart and soul.
It sent some really, really important messages. Actually, what was very clear from somebody who was observing that he's clearly a team player.
As part of the new royal team, Kate undertook her first official engagement in Anglesey, launching a lifeboat for the RNLI. All eyes were on the bride-to-be.
We've got hundreds of photos of the event and there isn't one bad photograph of her. It doesn't matter whether she's looking away, looking at the camera, it's brilliant, really elegant.
They sung the Welsh national anthem, didn't they?
Yeah, she did, yeah. Bless her. Yeah.
Done very well in that.
She probably did a better job than we did, yeah.
Yes.
You do that, can't do it. I do the talking bit, she's going to do the fun bit. It now gives us great pleasure to name this new lifeboat Hereford Endeavour. May God bless her and all that sail in her.
I think Kate Middleton did fantastic on her first royal engagement.
I tried to give him a business card, to be honest with you, because he only lives down the road here. I'm a plumbing and heating engineer. I tried to give him a card.
With the soon-to-be-married couple setting up home in Anglesey, William will continue to juggle his royal life with flying helicopters and saving lives.
Yeah, I think he wants to get stuck in, just like the rest of us. I'm not sure he's too keen on the paperwork, just like the rest of us. He just wants to fly.
He certainly never shies away from the difficult duties. Anything that needs attending to, he's there at the front. I always want to lead from the front and get stuck into sometimes the more menial tasks as well.
I think what William and others of the younger generation are trying to do is be true to themselves. So they're not just, in quotes, manufactured royals who just perform. They're actually trying to do their duty, but also be true to themselves and bring something of themselves into that role. I think William and Catherine are trying to do that.
What am I doing? Have I got anywhere near the end?
Months of planning are about to come to fruition as the country gets ready to celebrate the royal couple's big day.
I expect it to be a pretty joyous day, a lot of celebration, and people taking the opportunity to have some fun. I think I said to him that the thing I learnt was just never argue with your mother-in-law. But no, I'm sure he doesn't need any advice from me.
They've invited 1,900 people to this wedding. We, people from Centre Point, got a number of those invites. That's because we matter to him.
We are all going to the wedding. My wife rang me at 11:15 last night to talk about our hats.
We should celebrate with them. Didn't get an invite.
I'm going to have to take a handkerchief with me. I must remember that because it's going to be quite an emotional day. I'm just looking forward to her and her dad walking down the aisle. That'd be great. That'd be great just to watch Mike take his daughter down the aisle. It'd be something special.
Kate and William's romance has captivated the hearts and minds of the world. And as the future king prepares to marry his future queen, the next chapter in their love story is only days away.